What could drive a veteran WNBA star to lose her composure and shove a rookie sensation on the court? Skylar Diggins just did the unthinkable, pushing Caitlinclark during a high-stakes game. But was it merely about the game, or is there something much deeper simmering beneath the surface? All right, let's dive into the details. Imagine this scenario. The stands are packed, energy is electric, and Caitlinclark, the rookie who's been the talk of the league, is in her element. She's dominating the game with her sharp shooting, slick assists, and the kind of court vision that has basketball purists nodding in approval. Everything seems to be going right for Clark, but then out of nowhere, Skylar Diggins, a seasoned star who's seen and done it all in the WNBA, snaps. She shoves Clark, sending shockwaves through the arena and leaving everyone watching in disbelief. Now, this incident didn't just happen out of the blue. To really understand why Diggins would do something so unexpected, we need to take a closer look at the broader dynamics in the WNBA right now. Caitlinclark isn't your average rookie. She's been putting up incredible numbers, leading her team with confidence and poise that are rare for someone so early in their career. In this particular game, she notched 23 points, dished out 9 assists, and pulled down 5 rebounds. Those aren't just impressive stats for a rookie, they're numbers that would make any All-Star proud. Clark's performances aren't just getting her individual accolades, they're transforming the way people look at the WNBA. Games featuring Clark are selling out. Fans are showing up in droves, and the media can't seem to get enough of her. It's clear that Clark is more than just a talented player. She's becoming the face of the league, and that's creating waves throughout the WNBA. But not everyone is thrilled with this shift. For veteran players like Skylar Diggins, who've spent years establishing themselves as the top dogs in the league, watching a rookie like Clark grab all the headlines isn't just frustrating, it's a real challenge to their status. Diggins has put in the work, earned her stripes, and she's been one of the most recognizable faces in the league for years. Suddenly, here comes Caitlinclark, this young upstart who's capturing the attention of fans, media, and even her own teammates. That's a tough pill to swallow, especially for someone like Diggins, who's used to being the center of attention. Now, let's break down what happened on the court that night. The game was intense from the start. Clark was doing what she does best, finding open teammates, hitting clutch shots, and generally making life difficult for the opposing defense. The crowd was loving it, and you could feel the momentum building with every play. But then, in the middle of all this, Diggins snaps. Clark drives to the basket, and just as she's about to make her move, Diggins steps in and shoves her. The crowd goes silent for a moment. The referees blow their whistles, and suddenly the game takes on a very different tone. What's important to note here is that this wasn't just a random act of aggression. Diggins's shove wasn't just about the heat of the moment. It was a culmination of everything that's been building up over the past few months. This wasn't just about stopping Clark from scoring. It was about sending a message. A message that says, I'm still here, and I'm not going to let you take my place without a fight. After the game, Diggins tried to play down the incident, saying it was just something that happens in the heat of competition. But anyone watching could see that there was more to it than that. This shove was a manifestation of the tension that's been simmering beneath the surface all season long. Caitlinclark has been the story of the WNBA this year, and while that's great for the league in terms of media coverage and fan interest, it's also created a sense of unease among the veterans who've been the backbone of the league for so long. Let's talk about that tension for a moment. The WNBA is in a period of transition right now. The league is growing, the talent pool is deeper than ever, and players like Caitlinclark are pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the court. But with this growth comes growing pains, and we're seeing that play out in real time. Veterans like Skylar Diggins, who've worked hard to build their careers and make a name for themselves, are now facing a new reality. They're no longer the undisputed stars of the league, and that's a tough adjustment to make. Diggins' shove was a reflection of this tension. It wasn't just about frustration in the moment, it was about a deeper sense of insecurity, a fear of being overshadowed by the next generation. And that fear isn't unique to Diggins. Across the league, veterans are feeling the pressure from these young, talented rookies who are coming in and making an immediate impact. It's a classic case of the old guard versus the new stars, and right now, the stakes couldn't be higher. But what about Caitlin Clark? How is she handling all of this? It's important to remember that Clark isn't just a rookie in terms of her experience. She's also dealing with a level of pressure that few players ever face. From the moment she stepped onto the court, there were sky-high expectations placed on her shoulders. She's being hailed as the future of the league, and every move she makes is being scrutinized by fans, media, and opponents alike. Clark has responded to this pressure with an impressive level of poise and maturity. Despite being targeted by veterans who are trying to test her limits, she's continued to play her game, putting up big numbers and leading her team to victory after victory. But make no mistake, Clark isn't just letting this slide. She's got a competitive fire that's driving her to prove herself, and she's not backing down from anyone, not even seasoned stars like Diggins. In fact, Clark's response to the shove was telling. Instead of letting it rattle her, she used it as fuel to elevate her game even further. After the incident, she went on to score 12 more points, leading her team to a crucial win. That's the kind of resilience that separates the great players from the merely good ones, and it's why Clark is quickly becoming one of the most talked about players in the WNBA. But here's where things get really interesting. This isn't just a story about one game or one incident. It's about the larger dynamics at play in the WNBA right now. We're witnessing a generational shift in the league, with young stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming in and challenging the established order. And that's creating friction, both on and off the court. Let's take a closer look at Angel Reese for a moment. Like Clark, Reese is another rookie who's making waves in the league. She's a dominant force in the paint, leading the league in rebounds and providing a physical presence that's hard to ignore. While Clark dazzles with her shooting and playmaking, Reese is all about grit and determination, controlling the boards, and making life difficult for opponents who dare to challenge her inside. The competition between Clark and Reese for Rookie of the Year honors is one of the most exciting storylines in the WNBA right now. Both players bring something different to the table, and they're both having a significant impact on their respective teams. Clark's ability to score from anywhere on the court and her knack for setting up her teammates has transformed the Indiana Fever from a struggling franchise into a playoff contender. Meanwhile, Reese's rebounding and defensive prowess have made her a cornerstone of her team's success. This influx of young talent is exactly what the WNBA needs to continue growing and attracting new fans. Players like Clark and Reese are breathing new life into the league, bringing in fresh energy and raising the level of competition. But at the same time, it's also creating tension with the veterans who have spent years building their careers and establishing themselves as the stars of the league. And that's where the real challenge lies for the WNBA. How does the league balance the excitement and energy that these new players bring with the need to respect and honor the contributions of its veteran stars? It's a delicate balancing act, and there's no easy answer. On one hand, the league needs to continue promoting its young stars and capitalizing on the buzz they generate. On the other hand, it can't afford to alienate its veterans who have been the backbone of the WNBA for years. This tension between the old guard and the new stars isn't just playing out on the court, it's also happening behind the scenes. There's been talk of veterans feeling sidelined or overshadowed by the focus on rookies, and that's something the league will need to address if it wants to maintain harmony within its ranks. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and how it navigates this transition will have a significant impact on its future. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? The shove between Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark wasn't just a moment of frustration, it was a symbol of a larger shift happening in the WNBA. We're seeing the old guard being challenged by a new generation of stars, and that's creating tension, drama, and excitement that we haven't seen in the league in a long time. But this conflict, as uncomfortable as it might be, could be exactly what the WNBA needs to take the next step in its evolution. The league is growing, attracting new fans, and generating more buzz than ever before. And sometimes growth requires a little friction. It's through these challenges and conflicts that the WNBA can continue to evolve and reach new heights. So, what's next for Skylar Diggins, Caitlin Clark, and the rest of the WNBA? Will we see more confrontations on the court as the tension between the veterans and rookies continues to build? Or will the league find a way to embrace this new wave of talent while still honoring the contributions of its established stars? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The WNBA is more exciting than ever, and we're all lucky to be watching it unfold. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of sports. Whose side are you on? Team Skylar or Team Caitlin? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding story.